All right, welcome to part one. This isn't a future problem, it's happening right now. In 2005, Congress passed an unconstitutional law requiring all American citizens to be issued a national identification card. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of U.S. Senator Lamar Alexander while speaking on the Senate floor about Real ID. Real ID is not the innocuous initiative that we're being asked to believe that it is. In a congressional testimony regarding Real ID, the AAMVA, which coordinates closely with the DMV, said that once it's fully imposed, Real ID will be digitized, potentially put on your phone, made real time and remotely accessible, and used to track and control movement, purchases, and transactions. And to quote the Citizens Council for Health Freedom, one of the strongest advocacy groups for freedom in the US, Real ID could become a Chinese-like social credit system linked to a global ID. As they note on their website, the expanding use of biometric and digital ID systems are potential threats to medical privacy, patient autonomy, and individual freedom itself. Real ID opens the door to tracking, profiling, and control over your medical choices and daily life. They also note it is a blatant lie that you can't fly without a real ID. I know because I've done it. There are, in fact, 15 other acceptable forms of identification. But lying about it, as Kristi Noem has repeatedly done, helps accelerate compliance. As Thomas Jefferson so tragically noted, the natural progress of things is for liberty to yield and government to gain ground.
Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, and Shalawam to the Lord, to for elect. All right, it's your brother Yeramiah Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Once again, the name of the Father is Yahawah. It means He is, He exists. The name of the Son is Yahawashi. It means He saves, He delivers, He is salvation. In the name of the Holy Spirit, Rakah Kadash. Rakah meaning a spirit, Kadash meaning holy. Now, as you can see, based upon the video that I just played, right, the Real ID on the digital ID system, okay, CBDC, okay, these situations, you know, are as this whistleblower right here, you know, he's letting you know this is going to become global, and it's a means of ultimate control. Okay, and this is what Esau is doing, not just in America, as he's already stated that this program, you know, in certain forms is in different countries. It's already in China. Okay, it's gonna be in Russia. It's gonna be in the African countries. It's gonna be in Australia. Okay, it's in the UK. You know, let's look that up real quick. Okay. And the American government is lying about it. Talking about you can't fly without real ID. Okay, that's the same thing they're going to do with the digital ID. All right, these are all interconnected systems, man. The UK government is developing a voluntary digital ID scheme intended to be stored in the Gov UK wallet on mobile phones to streamline access to public services, improve identity. Following significant public and political backlash, plans to make the digital ID mandatory for verifying the right to work in the UK were abandoned in early 2026. All right. Key aspects of the UK digital ID proposal: a voluntary system. The digital ID will be an option for citizens rather than a mandatory requirement, with alternative non-digital methods still accepted. You know, and hey, we'll see that change, okay? Because we understand this thing will have to be mandatory for the scriptures to pass, and they will pass. Now, they were stating that it was going to be mandatory by April, but they're kind of backing off of it. You know, Esau is running rampant, trying to get their plan together. All right, and that's also evidence to Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right? So they're trying to get this MOTB in motion, which these are the infrastructures. These are the precursors. Okay, let's actually get that word precursor. All right, to show you a person or thing that comes before another of the same kind, or forerunner. So the digital ID is a precursor to bring upon this enterprise that Esau is trying to implement, you know? And Yahawah he's disappointing them. Right here, 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So that other way that you want to go, that way that you're trying to create, that Esau always does, he always tends to do, is being brought low. It's not it's not gonna excel, it's not gonna succeed. You understand? So it doesn't matter what you do, you're not gonna be able to dethrone Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? This is Revelations 13. And we'll get to the point. Let's go to 16. And he causeth all, this is talking about the beast system, all right, the beast, which is these Edomites, these Edom, the nation of Edom in general, okay, regardless if it be Russians, French, Spanish, Americans, wherever they at, they are the border of wickedness, all right, so them as a conglomerate, is coming forth with all of these measures. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead. And this is how we know that enterprise does have to come, but it will fail. But it has to come forth. So, like we said earlier, these things will become mandatory. Now, the digital ID is not necessarily that mark, right? But like I just read, it's a precursor. It's that infrastructure. It's that beast system that's being implemented. Okay, now as that dude was stating in the video, it's going to be a means that's going to be connected to a global system, right? And that goes back to NWO, one world government, one world religion, and one world banking system. So also with one world identification, you have to be on a system that unifies the world. That's what they want to do. All right, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, as we obviously can see that this is related to commerce. Okay, we can go into that word mark. A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. Right, the mark branded upon horses, etc., etc. Strong's definition: a scratch or etching stamp as a badge of servitude or sculpted figure, statue, graven mark. Okay, so this is something that has to be placed in you. In the Greek, it's charagma. You go back to the root word, which is charax, and once again, a pale or stake, a palisade. Okay, going down to the Strong's, to sharpen to a point, akin through the idea of scratching. A stake, i.e., by implication, a palisade or rampart, military mound for circumvallation in a siege. So you have to be cut open, and this is placed inside you using a needle, a pail, a palisade, all right, with a point. They're going to insert that C-hip in you like that, So let's get a little bit more of this, man.
Said another way, it's the very nature of our government to chip away at our freedoms. And they're doing so right now. So you know what we're up against. Let's look at the ways our liberties are being eroded in this very moment. The goal is to make everything digital so that, like those that donated to the Canadian Freedom Convoy, your access to things can be turned on and off remotely, autonomously, and instantaneously to ensure compliance. To do that, your activities need to be tracked, linked to you, and your money needs to be digital so it can be seen and controlled by the government. Enter digital IDs and CBDCs. A central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is government-issued money that exists only in digital form. Unlike the cash in your pocket, every CBDC transaction is recorded on a centralized ledger operated by the issuing bank. Access can be turned on or off instantly, and individual transactions can be scrutinized and blocked. Today, more than 130 countries representing over 98% of global GDP are exploring or have already piloted these systems, including the US.
Booyah. All right. Let's get some more on that, man. Because this individual is speaking factual. Now that CBDC is going to bring upon what? UBI. And this is also known as Universal Basic Income. Is a government program providing regular, unconditional cash payments to every citizen, regardless of income or employment status. It acts as a financial floor aimed at reducing poverty, addressing income inequality, and providing economic security. Payments are typically monthly and designed to meet basic needs, and this is something that they have in their mind. It's a part of their enterprise to issue out maybe $1,000 payment to you every month, right here and there. Okay, this is honest, man. This is in the back of their mind. It's been in the back of their mind where they can control everything that you do. And let's say you go off, you go against the system, you rebel, right? They're gonna cut off your UBI. They're gonna cut off your payments. Then you'll be out there ass out. You'll be done. And even to be upon their payments, what? You're going to have to take that C-hip, man. You're going to have to align with the beast. Because everything that the beast system is doing is against the Most High. Okay? America is not with the Most High, Yahawah. Okay? They're not looking towards, they're not looking for Yahawashi to come back. They're not happy about that. Okay? The French is not happy about that. English is not happy about that. The Spanish are not happy about that. The Edomites in general are not happy about Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi returning, man. All right? And that the sons of God down here are speaking out. They're not thrilled. Okay? But a lot of our people will align, man. 2/3 of our people will align with deeds because they don't have faith. I got another video that supports what this individual is talking about. Then I'm gonna then we're gonna wrap it down.
This year, Home Affairs will launch the digital ID to enable safe and secure use of digital services for all South Africans. We will digitize driver's licenses, matric certificates, and services at the master's office. Citizens will be able to fill out police statements online, and eligibility for SASSA grants online, and be tested remotely. All these services will be made available by my Mzansi platform. This year...
Well, yeah, so it's letting you know everything is going to be digital, okay? To set you up for the UBI, to set you up for the digital ID, that's what it is. All right, so let's say a pandemic comes through. It doesn't matter. Everything's digital, right? He said you could be tested remotely. You can run school from remote at home. That's what everybody was doing during 2020. All right, 2021, they was running school. I know, man, I was in college at that point in time, and we had to do a lot of Zoom classes. We didn't go to the school. Okay, if we did, we had to wear masks and stuff of that nature. And so, hey, that's what was going on, man. All right, but with this this miracle, this digital ID, this digital system, everybody can do stuff from their phones, mobily. That's what's going to take place. And this is Esau's goal. All right, I'm going to let him speak a little bit more. It's a good little video.
And that's according to the IMF. China, that eternal bastion of freedom, is the furthest along with their digital yuan. The People's Bank of China has processed more than 250 billion USD worth of pilot transactions in cities such as Shenzhen and Shanghai. Nigeria has also launched their digital currency, the e-Naira. Early versions required linking a national ID to mobile money accounts, an approach that caused millions of temporary freezes when data didn't match. The European Central Bank is testing a digital euro with limits on how much each user can hold offline, and the Bank of England is studying similar caps for a digital pound. A digital ID system, like Real ID, is the second pillar. It's a set of verified credentials, name, age, residency, and biometrics, a digitization of your physical features so you can be identified by a camera. In addition to what the US is doing, the European Digital Identity Wallet will let citizens log into banks, health systems, or travel portals using a single credential, but it will also allow them to be tracked and controlled.
Booyah. Hey, now, something came to mind is in America, they have what? They have data centers. Okay, and this is all over the planet, honestly. Okay. Let me get some information on it. I'll just read the AI overview. Data centers are secure, specialized facilities designed to house computing equipment, servers, storage, and network gear that store, process, and transmit vast amounts of digital data. Now, AI is being used to, expedite this process, where AI is tracking all of this, and it's going to eventually be like a minority report to make decisions based upon the data that it has in its system. Hey, this individual is dangerous. This individual is going to commit a crime this year at this time. Boom, 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 right? But based upon the data, we're tracking you. We see you go here. We see you go there. We see you do this. We see you do that. You know what I'm saying? They are the foundation of the internet, cloud computing, and AI, providing critical infrastructure for businesses and individuals, such as storing photos or streaming, typically requiring high power for cooling and operation. Now, if you know about data centers require the most power. All right, let's look that up. The most power. Data centers are exceptionally energy intensive, consuming 10 to 50 times more energy per floor space than typical commercial buildings. They currently use 2% to 3% of global electricity, a figure projected to rise significantly due to AI, with U.S. data centers potentially accounting for up to 12% of domestic electricity usage by 2028. And that's a massive amount. Okay, and all they're doing is expanding. These things are fairly new, but as you can see, all the power that they're taking now, let's say, brothers have spoke on it recently about a blackout, these type of things, and it could be linked to a false flag, a T is attack. You know what I'm saying? But these things will be implemented by the government to push a certain agenda. It's nothing but propaganda that's being spewed out there right now. But then these data centers will be shut down. All right, and it'll be a good chance for them to restart, come back with a better system that will never ever be able to shut down. Okay, that's unhackable. That's what that chip in these people's right hand is gonna be. That's what that Neuralink is gonna be. It's gonna be unhackable. It's gonna be more secure and convenient. That's what they're pushing. That's gonna be one of their selling points. Oh, all your money was took. Wells Fargo got hacked last night. Bank of America, all your money is gone. Well, we're going to move to this system. We're going to give you a UBI. So now you don't have to keep money. You don't have to keep a savings. You don't know how, you don't have to do any of that no more. Everybody's going to be the same. Everybody's going to be equal. All right. We as the government is going to take care of you. Right? What did Klaus Schwab say? You're going to own nothing and be happy. Right? So, hey, with that being said, if you can't see this light, you living in the dark, man. Giving all praises, glory, and honor be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharahla, and a Bible bar to his wicked kingdom. May Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. Let's get up out of here, brothers. Let's keep the faith. Shalom.